question here about trust. We have studied that we cannot trust our emotions necessarily, or the mind. It can be disorienting for what to trust, what to hang on to. There is a lot of fear in spirituality and the impulses of ego. I think I understand it kind of, but I would like to hear you articulate it. The question that for the question to even arise about what to trust in the self, it shows that there's a division in the self. The division is between the conscious mind and the subconscious. Our mind is divided in, we have three parts of the mind. We have the conscious, the subconscious, and the deeper conscious mind. The subconscious is our feeling part. It's the feminine part of us, which is when we see something or see something, can be joyful or it can be disturbing. We get emotion, an emotion associated with that experience. And the conscious mind then assesses it, whether it's a positive or negative, and it doesn't like the negative emotions. So it tries to change them, and it's in conflict with them. Because it doesn't want to feel the consequences in the nervous system of all the chemicals that are released when we're angry or when we're afraid. It's unpleasant, so it assesses every emotion as being positive or negative, and it tries to control it. So it's not that the problem isn't emotions. The problem is the inner conflict. Like the emotions will still come, like a liberated person has the same emotions, but they don't make stories with them. The emotion can just rise and fall like waves on the beach. It disappear like writing on water if it's not judged. The problem is when we judge it, we make a story, and then we continually renew it. Then emotions seem to cause us problems. So and whether to trust ego or in your question, ego is a byproduct of thought. Whenever we're thinking, there's the I consciousness. Otherwise, we wouldn't have any experience. And again, the I consciousness is just there. We can't do away with it. Like the non-dualists say, just you're not the I consciousness. But I mean, the I consciousness is just there. It becomes part of the is. It's just there. So the problem is not the experience, say, of an emotion like anger, but it's the division created between the I consciousness and the experience of anger. And it's when we try to control the anger. In the same way, if we try to control the joy and make it last forever, we're making a division. Again, we're making a division between the I consciousness and the experience. And then the conscious mind becomes vested with the responsibility of assessing everything we feel. It tries to. It has the obligation to continually try to control what we're feeling, and it's kind of the state of most people. They're in that, and even meditation. When you try to do meditation, it becomes just that, trying to control everything. It's like it's an insane way to live. It's an insane way of being. This misunderstanding of meditation. Meditation at one point becomes the problem. takes us away from our natural state. So the observer is vested with the obligation to continually control the feelings, thereby giving them the status of being controlled, making the observer and the observed two separate entities. And then you have the issues arising of trust. What can I trust? And is this feel a good feeling or a bad feeling? The feelings are just there, and they're usually telling us something. If we just listen and don't make a story with them, they're not a problem. That when we don't try to control the feelings, then there's no more inner conflict. It's rather than a total movement of the mind. So I don't know if this answers your question or not completely, but it's just that we've gone so far away from our natural state. If we ever were in a natural state, that could be a misconception too. But, and again, it could be a misconception to feel like we have to get back to somewhere. We don't have to get back anywhere. We already are. We're already fine as we are. It's not like we have to attain a state of liberation, a state of enlightenment. That's just another total misconception. A total misconception of the mind, of the ego mind. There's so much more to say about this, and yet there's nothing to say, because it's so simple.